What up, what up? It's your boy Oshin. This is Oshin's View. I'm in the building with Willie Negro.
What up, what up, what up?
Whew. This is not even one of them situations where I have to wait to jump into it. I know exactly why I'm going with this one, because I've been holding back a lot of what I wanted to post during the week on social media because, I wanted to hear other people's point of view. I wanted to get all my thoughts gathered. And I was like, I actually put up a post saying, that's cool because on the next episode of Ocean's View, which is this one, we'll be talking about this Keke Palmer and Darius Jackson situation. Now, unless you haven't been paying attention to social media and just the news, not even the news, it's pretty much the social media. Keke Palmer, the young child star, she's not a child anymore. She's clearly a mother. She's an adult. She's a woman. She has a boyfriend, Darius Jackson. Evidently, they were in Vegas turning up. And when you go to Vegas nowadays, there's only two destinations. Either you're going to watch the Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders, or you're going to see Usher doing his residency thing. And pretty much, most likely you're going to see Usher because the football season is not even in session right now. So, as so many stars and, non-stars, non-celebrities, everybody crams in to the big arena. No, I think they built him like his own stadium and things like that. Something to that effect.
I don't know what they did, but they be going there.
Auditorium, everybody goes there. I'm just saying, I'm trying to set the scene. Everybody goes there. Keke Palmer wears this outfit. It's see-through. I don't want to say leotardish type, but it gave that feel. And of course you can see the cheeks. She's not a super voluptuous woman, but she's got a nice body.
She's a little more curvy.
She's older now. She's a little more curvier, So Usher serenades her. Now, I don't know if it was her birthday, which I doubt, because that would have been brought up. Usher serenaded her. She gave a hug. The hug turned into, Usher with his arm around her and everything, and he's singing to her. But this is part of the show.
Yeah, he does that to a lot of women.
He does that to a lot of women. And it's Usher. It's his show. This is what he does. He knows 80% of the people in there are women. Yeah. So Usher doesn't give a damn what dudes are talking about, because he would be fine if it was all women in there.
Yeah.
So, he's a performer. He has to put on a show. Keke Palmer's boyfriend took exception to his girlfriend. And I'm going to keep saying it because this is not his wife. It's his girlfriend.
That's true. But it is the mother of his child.
I'm getting to that. So, he then proceeds to put a tweet out, "You're a mom." And social media lost his fucking mind. And he got dragged by every single woman on social media, with the exceptions of 3. And that was about it. It was probably 3 people that I saw that was defending him. And he got called everything from insecure to bitch ass nigga, just punk. You know what I'm saying? Just everything. Any adjective, anything you want to come up with.
Right.
So my question is, there's a few things to unpack with it. Was he wrong for feeling the way he was feeling?
Was he wrong?
Yeah.
I don't think people can be wrong for their feelings. You know what I mean? He obviously felt some type of way about it. The way what was he wrong for the post is my question, because hey, sometimes you feel some type of way about the moves that your partner makes. You know what I mean? It just is what it is. But to address it publicly was a little crazy to me. But nah, I don't think he was wrong. Like if your woman is doing something that you don't think that she should be doing, you should be able to say something.
It was a few things with that. This is the thing, because I believe there's enough blame to go around on both sides. Thought about it enough. You're dating a celebrity. That's for one.
Right.
You're dating a celebrity.
Right.
She has celebrity friends. That's
Okay.
for one. That's the other part. You're not a celebrity. Well, I don't know who he is, honestly.
I don't know who he is.
I don't know, and I don't even want to. I don't feel I even need to Google it just now. Enough, and if somebody's looking at this episode later, then they want to say in the comments what he does. But I don't know
his
him.
celebrity.
So,
his celebrity is not her celebrity.
Yeah,
Put it that way.
Thank you. So, my thing is this: how she dresses. They walked out the house together, so you know what she had on. So that's not the shocking part. I believe
He was there with her.
he was there. Of course, you had to see it. That's, you know what I'm saying, like that.
Well, he could have seen it like everybody else seen it. You know what I mean? He could have seen it like we seen it. I don't know if he was there. I didn't see him in the picture.
You actually right. You know what? Now that you said, I don't know if he was there. But let's just say, whatever. For whatever reason, maybe he was there, maybe he wasn't there. His whole issue was, you're a mom.
Right.
That's why I think a lot of women took exception. Now, I'm going to put it out there because women act like, I don't like the word insecure. I believe it exists for a reason, but I believe the word insecure gets thrown around too easily, especially by women towards men. Yeah, this is not bashing them. It's just they throw it when they don't have anything else to say, when they can't express why a dude may feel away. Oh, you're just insecure. So so I'm going to give the ladies a peek at the male handbook for a second. If you want to say guys are insecure on another guy that millions of women adorn, I'm not putting Usher to it, it's just any blank face.
Right.
Any millions of women adorn. He's rich. He's a celebrity. He's famous. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Of course, dudes feel away. Straight up and down.
Right.
And I don't think women don't look at it from a guy's point of view, because women that say, I heard a lot of women say, well, if my man was on stage with Janet Jackson, I would be applauding it. But your man's not a celebrity. See, this is the thing that needs to be talked about. Hold up before you click me.
Right.
This is the thing we need to talk about. Quick story. It's not even a big story. I got a friend. He has celebrity crushes. Mm-hmm. Celebrity crushes. She's his ex-wife now. Mm-hmm. She had a crush, but it was a nigga that we knew.
Damn.
No, and I'm dead ass. It was a dude we knew.
Oh God.
So
you can't have a crush on a regular nigga.
No, but this is the thing. This is the thing that makes it crazy, is the fact that the dude, I always said, I never thought it was funny. Like, that was their inside thing.
That's crazy.
I didn't think it was funny. Because my thing was this. Luckily for my man, the dude who she had the crush on wasn't a sleaze bucket. He wasn't that kind of dude. Like, so when they told me it was him, I said, you lucky. And I pulled him to the side. I said, yo, you lucky it's him. Because other dudes will take advantage, or he stepped to her. I said, he's just not on that kind of time. But I said, yo, is your marriage and stuff? But I said, yo, that's a dangerous game you're playing.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like that. Because Beyonce, who I call the poster, yeah, dudes, if I'm getting a lap dance from Beyonce, my woman and everything, oh, cool. I'm not running into Beyonce.
Right.
I'm not running into her on the regular.
Right.
If I'm a celebrity, Beyonce can't tell me she got a crush on me. Jay-Z got to pay attention now. You know what I'm saying? He's looking at me like, nigga, you was just at this all-white party with us. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're in the circles. So with Darius looking like, yo, you know what? This is Usher. I don't really like this. And I hate when women try to be like, why do you put yourself down? Nigga, it's Usher. It's not that I'm putting myself down to him. It's his status and his money. And that those things matter to women.
100%.
They try to act like it doesn't matter. It matters to women.
Those are the things that matter. Those are the things that matter to women. Like, men look at beauty, body, and stuff like that. We lust after that. Women are attracted to status.
Yes.
they are attracted to status. They like to call it confidence, but you get confidence through your status. You see what I'm saying? Like if you have a lot going for yourself, you're gonna feel better about yourself. If you are singing to all these women and they going crazy, yeah, you want to exude confidence. You see what I'm saying? But I want to go back to this insecurity thing.
Go ahead.
So they said he's insecure, but we all have insecurities. Like, I don't even understand how that's a slight. Like, oh, he's just insecure. Okay, he's insecure when you are got your cheeks out and you dancing on Usher, and you're a celebrity. So, like you said, they in the same circles. That could happen that night if Usher felt like it.
Facts.
Maybe. I don't know Keke like that.
No,
I don't think she's like that.
The whole thing is this.
But that could happen. But women won't let same women say he's secure. If I want to go to the store, they like, nah, where you going? Why you got to be out all late? Why you got to do this? Just going out. Like, I'm just going out. So we all understand that we have insecurity. If you were somebody attractive, you understand that somebody may want to be lust after your significant other. But you in most cases are confident that, they don't want that. They don't want him or her, right? Mm-hmm. But in this case, from just a bird's eye view, if Usher wanted that, what's the odds that he could have it? You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't know that she wanted that, but just looking at it, you know what I mean? What's the odds that he could have it? So, does he have a reason to be insecure? Maybe. This may be a legitimate reason to be insecure. You know what I mean? So when you say, oh, he's just insecure, that's okay. So, you know what I mean?
A lot of times, like I said, the word gets thrown around too easily. So
my thing is, have you ever been insecure with a woman?
Absolutely. And I'm gonna tell you exactly when I was insecure. I'm not gonna say the name. He's a rapper, New York. I used to deal with his baby mother. And first off, that was a different thing too, for the simple fact of not only I knew him, but we weren't like that. We were cool. We still cool or whatever. We see each other. But he's successful, doing his thing and everything. So I had to get around the fact of, and at the time, his music was really popping. So every time I would hear the music come on and she's around, I don't know why I felt the way. Every time. Like literally every time I would just feel away.
So you were dealing with her and that was his baby mom.
Yes. But we weren't like that, but it was going there. She liked me and stuff.
Yeah.
I get why she liked me and I understood it. But at the time, I'm going to tell you what really made it more insecure. At the time, financially, I kind of was just doing odd jobs, didn't really have too much going on. Going to your point about exuding confidence. I knew it was certain things she was used to. Now, to her defense, she never stepped to me on some money tip. Like she never made me feel no way about money or anything else like that. But I felt the way because for one, I couldn't do nothing. And I kind of wanted to do other things with her, but it was like, damn, but even if you do, I started overthinking, like, even if you do something nice, how much is she gonna take it into account? Because you do this and this person could do, bang, the next level. So, okay, long story short, I take you to Miami, this nigga's taking you to Dubai.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Now, it's just hard to get around saying how insecurities shouldn't be a thing, because I believe people need to start admitting to some of these insecurities, because that's part of the conversation. I wonder if the situation with Keke Palmer would have went, who knows what they talked about behind closed doors. But if, say they got into it and she said, why don't you stop being insecure? And he'd be like, how do you expect me to be secure and you're acting like this with somebody who basically, you hate to say it, you kind of feel inferior to the dude. And it's like, yo, dudes gotta be honest about you saying you don't feel insecure or inferior to a dude that's up.
Right.
Because our whole lives, the reason why dudes feel like that is because our whole lives are based on getting to certain points in life and having a certain level of success. And if you don't have that level of success, first off, you're already beating yourself up every day with it. Right. And then when you're looking at somebody else, you're looking like, dang, I'm not even successful like that at all. And then you start double questioning yourself like, I don't even know if I'll ever get to that point or anything. So it's like you get a woman that you're interested in and she's like, oh, that's just such and such. And you looking like, how can I compete with that?
Right.
Now a woman to say, we didn't ask you to compete. Yeah, you kind of did. You know what I'm saying? In a roundabout way. And like I said, women be acting like when we double tapping on the vivacious chick that got all the body and this, that, and the third. Oh, so that's what you like? Yeah. That's what we like.
We do.
We don't know her. We want to hit it.
Yeah, we do.
And don't tell me you don't feel away, because why do you think when it's the other way around, women be like, where she work at? Right. What she do? How much money she make? Because you're looking for something that's supposed to be, okay, I got this over her.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like that. And I just feel this is a situation where I want to address what you said earlier about, I don't think you should have did it publicly. I'm going to die on this hill because everything now is on social media. That's just the world we live in. Nobody does anything behind closed doors anymore. So it's to the point, I'm not saying it's right, but this is how disagreements get solved nowadays. Okay. It's like it's just part of the thing. I'm not trying to change your mind with it because that's kind of what, but you know what I'm saying? I just kind of feel like I've got to the point, I agree with you. I want you to go, I agree with you. It should be behind closed doors. But the other part of me is like, people don't handle things behind closed doors anymore.
So, but the only reason that I said that was this. On the internet, they said that they stopped following each other on socials. So I'll say that to say this: if she would have came home and he would have said that same thing to her, instead of like, yo, you're a mom, what are you doing? If he would have said that same thing to her, I think they worked through that. I think that she could be a little bit more like understanding, like, oh, okay. They might have an argument. They might do whatever conversation they need to have. But I think it's easier to work through that if he communicates directly to her. Like, yo, you're a mom. I think he put her on blast when he said this to the world, and it makes you defensive.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, this is why I said the last time, the internet is a really fake place. Like, people think that they need to sound off to the world. We don't care about them. This is just conversation. This is fodder. Like, we just talking. We don't care about their relationship. Like, we not hurt that they broke up. That's a broken family. Like, that's the mother of his child. You see what I'm saying? The people don't care. People argue with each other, but this is a real situation. It's a real broken home behind this craziness, behind a few words, you're a mom, which could have been said directly to her. And then that would have been, instead of in front of the world, that would have been a conversation, something for them to work through. You see what I'm saying? That's the only reason I said that. That's exactly my point about the internet. Like, people think that everybody think that they need to go to the internet and say all these things and make everything so public. But when you make everything so public, then you have no choice. You back me into the wall. I have to be defensive. I have to stand my ground. But when it's just me and you, I can have some empathy. I can say, okay, Because the reality is she probably at home like, all right, I understand a little bit. Even if she disagreed, like I can understand why you feel that way.
I heard a lot of women saying, and I was like, this is corny. They were like, well, if you met me like that, then this is how I'm going to be. I think that's one of the most overused sayings, not just by women, by men too. Men do it as well. How you met me, you accepted me how you met me, so this is how I'm going to continue to be. I don't believe no healthy relationship can sustain that, because you absolutely have to change some of the things you're doing or have done prior to dealing with that person. The issue is this, in terms of it's basically, what do I have to change? So a young lady on my timeline said, well, he wants her to be like this, and that's just his girlfriend. It's not his wife. But then the same young lady turned around and said, even if I was a wife, I'm still going to dress how I want to dress. So that, to me, and I didn't even say anything. I didn't even comment on her page, but I was about to be like, so basically, it doesn't matter if you're his girlfriend or wife. You're just going to do whatever you want to do anyway, with no regard for how he feels whatsoever.
Right.
And then, of course, it turned into, they don't like the black woman. This is why sometimes I'm like, it's always black women. Yeah. And I'm looking like, I'm going to be honest, I be feeling like when black women be hitting you with you only do this with the black women. I can't speak for how white women are, because I think they got a lot of shit with them too. And history has shown us they got 100%. Mad shit. They got all kinds. We've seen the different sides of how white women get down. But it's like, they got the same BS going on, but they do theirs a little differently than y'all's.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So it's not applauding them. It's what somebody might be willing to deal with. And I just kind of feel like a lot of times, like, you can't just be in a relationship with this mentality, I'm going to do whatever I want to do. That's both ways, so men and women.
To kind of respond to the, I came into this way, this how I was when you met me. In any relationship, when you get in relationship with someone and y'all choose to be in each other's space and you have feelings for them, the thing that changes the most is you take their feelings into consideration. So when I met you, I didn't consider you at all in my decision making. At all. But now that we are in relation together, I consider how the things that I do affect you. You see what I'm saying? And you should consider how the things that you do affect me. So when you say, well, I was doing this when you met me. Yes. But now we've met. and now we in a relationship. Like, what are you talking about? That doesn't make sense to me. Yes, I've been in relationships. You change your behavior to consider the feelings of your significant other. Like, they may not care that you wear something like that if you with somebody. But if you with somebody that does care, if you want to be with that person, you consider kind of what you putting on. The same way I would consider how I act in these streets as a married man. You see what I'm saying? When I wasn't married, I acted very differently. When I wasn't, even when I had a girlfriend, I acted differently than when I was completely single. You see what I'm saying? You move different. But I had another question, because I seen the one joint on there that a young lady said he's trying to control her. Like, if you tell a woman what to wear, that's controlling her.
Go ahead. So what's the question? So
the question is, do you think having input on how somebody dresses or something is trying to control it? Well, not somebody, your significant other or the mother of your child. Is that trying to control them?
In the words of my man from 40-year version, 40-year-old version, hey, bitches running wild. Like, yo, I'm saying it's like, yo, it's literally a lot of that. Like, yo, you have to save people from themselves sometimes.
Yeah.
You have to. And it's always going to be a tug of war with men and women, because I think nowadays women are fighting against, they want to have a measuring stick contest.
Right.
And I'm looking like, this is not even a natural progression of how relationships and life goes. Here you go. I'm going to be honest with y'all women. When I like seeing those memes and pictures up, is this a good first date? And the chick got on, like, you can see her breasts. She got a scantily dress on. It's coming up to her thighs, but like she got to keep pulling it down. Oh, why would you go on a date like that? Because I'm single. This is just who I'm messing with. And we about to have a hell of a fucking night.
Yeah.
Now, when it's a girlfriend or wife, it's a different kind of thing, because women like to say, they like to think, what I wear doesn't define me. It does. It does. Maybe not to other women fully, but to men, it 100% defines you, because it's no way you're wearing your skirt so high up that you have to keep pulling down, and a dude is looking like, yeah, I can tell she's a nun. She's at a monastery. You know what I'm saying? Like she's church going.
Right.
She doesn't. It is not saying you can't do that in church,
right.
But no, she's of high standards. No, ain't no dude thinking that. Every dude that sees you that night is like, oh yeah, I think I can hit that. I think I can hit that.
Right.
And I've been on those ends of the spectrum where I'm like, I see a chick dance with a dude a certain way, and I don't think he's taking full advantage of the situation. Oh, I ain't gonna lie. I'm there waiting, and like a wolf like this. Okay. Oh, he ain't really doing nothing with it. She giving him everything he want. All right. Once he stops dancing with her, I'm sliding over. I'm going to dance with her, and it's going down.
I can give you one better.
Go ahead.
So when the chick is dressed like that, forget about men. Women judge her like that. Women are saying, "Oh, she must be this. She must be that."
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because, but my thing is this: what are they supposed to think? If you dress scandalous, I'm supposed to think you're not scandalous. Like, what am I supposed to think? Like, see, if I dress in a suit, you think that I'm taking care of business, or I'm at a formal event, right? If I'm dressed in hooping shorts or something, you thinking I'm either lounging or I'm working out, right? If you have your breast and your butt out, what am I supposed to think?
You're leading with your physical, but you want me to start just thinking about your mind and everything else. That's not a reality. Just like you said, I done ran into women that were conservatively, they were dressed so conservative. You'd be like, okay, she was cool.
Right.
But when we got back to the crib, she was wild for the night. And it was a pleasant surprise. Like, oh, snap. Mm-hmm. I didn't even know she would get down like this. And I said something to a few of the ladies like that. Like, dang, I'm getting dressed like shit. I didn't know what kind of night this was. Hold up. I didn't know what kind of night this was. And then the same thing that the young lady said, I'm not supposed to give that off to everybody else.
Right.
So that's how I know we're not bugging when we saying this is what dudes is thinking when they see you dressed a certain.
So let me ask you this, as a young man who's been outside before.
Yes.
So when you see those young women that's dressed a little revealing, a little bit more revealing, two-part question. Do you consider them low-hanging fruit? And in your estimation, how many times was it about, what's the percentage that it was low-hanging fruit and it was a good time and you guessed right?
I say about 75% of the times it was low-hanging fruit. Mm-hmm. But the thing about it is this. Just because the women are dressed that way, don't mean they just jumping in the sack or just jumping for whoever approaches them. you still have to check off those boxes that they have set for themselves.
Right.
Now, that in terms of that, I'm not going to say, like this, the bare minimum what dudes is doing, buying drinks, talking about themselves and, whatever. I've had to learn, you've got to allow them to have a good time themselves. You can't really dictate the night because you can't be too over anxious because you can blow it that way. I only know that because I've blown it before. But once or twice, not most times. And the whole thing of, I've had one or two situations where I assumed it was going to be this kind of night, and it wasn't.
Right.
It just didn't go down. You know what I'm saying? Like, we exchanged numbers, and she went about her business.
Right.
And that was it. And I felt a little duped because I was like, so this is how you come out? You put all this out there to not be like that? And I guess that's this percentage of when people are like, well, it doesn't mean that. But that's on the lower side. Like I said, 75 to 80% of the time, that's what they're doing. The fruit was hanging low.
And my saying about low-hanging fruit. Low-hanging fruit is still sweet.
Still sweet. Still sweet.
All right, I want to address one more thing about this Keke Palmer thing.
Right.
I want to address what he actually posted. He said, "You're a mom," right? So why do people jump to the "you're not married, you're trying to control her, oh, he's just insecure"? Could it be that she is famous and she is a mom and their baby is not always going to be a baby and she will see you dancing on Usher with your cheeks out? Could that be, because he said you're a mom, could that be what he was addressing instead of, oh, I'm insecure, you shouldn't be doing this, or hey, that comment of you're a mom, he kind of stepped in it with that one. I'm gonna tell you why. Because she's been a mom. You still got to make women feel beautiful. You still got to make them feel wanted and desired and everything else. I don't know if he was physically there, but she's out with her girlfriends. A lot of times, women do dress. I'm not going to say they dress for their female friends, but they're not going to get out sexied by a peer. Okay.
So they all going to go out. My thing is, she didn't sneak. I got to go back to it. She didn't sneak wearing that outfit. It ain't like she wore one thing out the house and then changed into something else. You knew what she had on. Maybe
she's just in Vegas with her girls,
and that's cool. It's Vegas. It's wardrobe changes in Vegas. All kind of it happens. It's called Sin City for a reason.
Right.
So I believe a lot of times when people go to Vegas, you actually turn into another character when you get out there, and that character is just for that time. That night, she's not a mom. She's at that Usher concert. Being a mom is the last thing on her mind. And I don't mean that to say that she's not thinking of her child. But that night, she's out with her girls. She is not a mother right there. She is a young woman with her peers having a good time. And as much as I want to be on his side with a lot of things he said, you got to give them, that's girls' night out. That's girls' night out.
So all right, I'm going to push back a little bit.
Go ahead. So
I believe that when you're a mom, you're always a mom all the time, everywhere, because especially the time that we live in now, you can't go out and people not going to see you, especially when you're famous. You see what I'm saying? If your cheeks is out, you just got to be okay with your child seeing your cheeks out. You see what I'm saying? Because they're going to see it. The same thing that Amber Rose's son is going through with her OnlyFans, and he's in middle school, and they like, yo, I seen your mom.
The age.
No, but the babies grow up. You see what I'm saying? They grow up and they're going to see it.
But she needs context.
You know what I mean?
Context matters.
I understand context does matter, but they're going to see it. And that's going to be something that you have to protect them from. It's going to be a conversation that needs to be had. My thing is, he only said, you're a mom. He didn't say you were a slut or nothing like that. He said, you're a mom. To me, that's something that I would have said behind closed doors, and it would just be serious, simply to remind her, like, yes, your child will see this. If it's okay with you, then it's fine. But remember, whatever you do, you have a baby now who will be a grown human being that has to deal with all the decisions that you make. You see what I'm saying? And it's let alone the decisions that you made before them, because they'll see all that too because you're famous. But the decisions that you make after you have a child, that matters. They'll see it. You see what I'm saying? And if it's okay with her, it's okay. Like, if you don't care about your child seeing your cheeks and you think it's okay, hey man, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Maybe a child will grow up and you see their cheeks. Okay.
Never mind just looking at that. Because as you were talking, something else just reminded me of something I seen. Because you kept going back to at some point the kid is going to see it. And my thing is, well, we don't know that for a fact, but there's a high possibility. So I don't want to push back for that. I don't drink, I don't smoke. Never sip, never drink, nothing.
Right.
I grew up believing my mother never drank, never smoked.
Mm-hmm.
But I saw pictures in my adult years. She had a drink in her hand and a cigarette.
Right.
I asked her about it. This is before she passed and everything. She was like, oh yeah, that was back in the day, such and such. Mm-hmm. It didn't really change anything how I felt. You see what I'm saying? Like that, because context matters. She was a lot younger. I'm not even born at all. You see what I'm saying? Like that. Context matters, and it's not a right or wrong, but it's like, okay, at some point, me making a decision to not drink and smoke, it doesn't change anything. I don't feel bad at the decision, like, damn, I should have did it because mom did it. Because the thing about it is, me deciding not to drink and smoke was not based off of the fact that she did it. Even though that's what I believe that she's never done, I didn't make that decision based off that. So even though two things can be true, what you said makes sense with that. But once again, that's why I said age matters, because if they have, let's just say the child is 2 years old right now, you fast forward, let's just say a cool 20 years.
Right.
When she's talking to this child, look here, mommy was only this old, 30 years old. This guy Usher's gonna be a super older dude, then 60s and whatever. Yo, he was a star. She might even compare Usher to whoever the new heartthrob is of that time. This is like you going to the concert now with it. So I get that, because there's a thing, but I don't think that's going to hold too much weight in terms of that, because it's not a sex tape.
I understand.
It's not a sex tape.
I understand, but let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
Have you ever seen your mom with her cheeks out dancing on somebody?
No, first off, I want you to ask me again, because I want you to get my face too. So ask me again.
Respectfully, have you ever seen your mom with her cheeks out dancing on somebody?
No, but guess what? I'm pretty sure she's done had her cheeks out dancing on a nigga before.
I understand. But if you seen your mom with her cheeks out in an auditorium full of people dancing on somebody, it might skew the perception of her, especially if you are 12, 13, and you don't really understand the world yet.
This is what I'm glad you said that, because that's the point. How old me right now, seeing the picture of my mom's or a video of my mom's and she danced with her cheeks out, and I'm like, when was this? And well, she can't say nothing now, she's gone. But and come to find out, this was when I was maybe 1 year old. I
get that, okay, but I use the Amber Rose thing as
that's a real thing, because that's more closer.
But it's not necessarily. But it's not necessarily what she did when she had her OnlyFans. You can see pictures of Amber Rose naked when her child was 1, when her child was 3, before her child was born. That still affects her child. Like, he in school, he got to deal with that. Like, you got to deal. Like, these is things like I hope he, in them Muay Thai kickboxing classes with his father, because he got to deal with that. You see what I'm saying? Like, kids is disrespectful. So the thing is, maybe I'm gonna give you a second to think about it. A lot of this is coming on the backs of women doing things. What could men do that could embarrass their kids for things that they see?
Get beat up. I'm just saying, I'm trying to figure out, like get beat up. So if you see, like, the reason why Friday, that scene was so funny in Friday, get knocked out, like your pops used to. We ain't never seen Willie ever fight, but clearly Debo was like, yo, I know this nigga.
Yeah.
He used to get his ass whooped. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? And we never seen it. And
you could be...
And he shot him.
But you could be... something that might be embarrassing to a kid is if your pops was like a crackhead or something, like the neighborhood crackhead or something like that. And then he cleaned up, you know what I mean? Then that's something you're going to have to deal with as a kid. Like when you 12 years old, your pop was... My dad used to sell him crack. He used to twerk in the alley, you know what I mean?
See, the thing about... A reason why I don't want to take it to drugs, because you can clean up from drugs, but it's a lot harder to clean up from drugs. And I kind of feel that once you crackhead Willie, I kind of feel you crackhead Willie for the rest of your life.
But that's what I mean. This is what I'm saying. You can clean up from anything. But as a child...
Not crackhead Willie. You can't...
No. You can clean up, but as a child, you have a child, they gonna have to deal with that. Like, kids are mean, bro. Like, they gonna have to deal with that. Like, you might have to punch somebody in the face.
Okay, bet. Fine. There's truth there. Because I had an uncle. And to this day, it just looks bad because I don't really know what happened. But this was the only time I was like really embarrassed. We were coming down. I was in junior high, too. Coming down 125th Street. And I'm not looking for nothing. I'm just, holding on to the bus, looking. There's windows. You can see outside. And I see my uncle. It looks like somebody threw this thing. It looked. I'm trying to. So it wasn't funny at the time, but all I know is we on the bus, and I don't think people were looking out to look for him. It's just windows, so everybody's just stargate looking out the windows, just waiting for they stop. But you can see this thing kind of get thrust out of the spot. And so somebody on the bus is like, yo, look at this fucking crackhead.
It's just crazy.
Yo. And so hold up. So not only did he do that, not only did they do that, I gotta play along with the joke because I can't let niggas know that this is my uncle.
You can't go.
I had to go. I couldn't be like, yo, watch your mouth. That's my uncle. I had to go with it.
Hey,
look at this fucking fee you saw he got thrown out there. And the bad shit is, I didn't go straight home after that. So by the time I walk in the house, I see this nigga. He like, nephew, what up? I just ignored this nigga like, I ain't going front. I told my moms, I'm like, yo, what's up with this nigga, man? I'm like, yo.
Hey,
that shit, so, yeah, there's some truth to what you saying. So fuck it, yeah. People got to clean up they act with stuff and all that. Yeah.
That shit crazy, yo.
That's it.
Oh, man.
That's it. You know what? One of the drums that women are actually banging on real loud lately on social media, they're saying a lot of straight men, and they're being specific, a lot of straight men don't even like women. You try not to pick on the black woman, but I don't hear white women saying this shit. So this is exclusive to our culture. Because I'm honest, I don't hear a lot of white women banging that drum. But the fact that white women don't say it doesn't mean that it's not a thing. So we're going to address it. Do I think a lot of straight men like women? Of course they do. This is the issue, and this is the thing that I don't think women understand about when they try to say men don't like women. It's all about who you're running into mostly. The majority of time. Now, when you say that, a lot of people like to say, well, these are the circles you're in. It's not about your circles. To a degree it is, because I believe there's a lot of women that's out of my league. And we'll talk about that later. Mm-hmm. But we're talking about when you just literally walking down the street, and it's going to depend on where you live at, where you work at, and just your circle. I get that. So you're running into a lot of BS a lot of times. And I believe a lot of women are running into a lot of BS. But to say that men aren't liking women, oh, you like to have sex with them, but they don't like them. No, I'm going to tell you what it really is. And I want you to jump in. A lot of women don't bring anything to the table but their looks and their body. It don't be nothing upstairs.
So in the woman's defense, what they're saying is, which I don't agree with, what they're saying is men don't like anything about women other than sex. And to that you say what?
To that I say, I can't answer for all men. But what I could say is this. The things I like about women that aren't related to sex, I like a sense of humor. Mm-hmm. I like engaging conversation. And engaging conversation doesn't have to be deep. That's another thing that has to be put out there too. Because I believe everything isn't the trickle-down theory. We don't have to talk about rocket science, stuff like that. It doesn't have to be that deep. But we need to be able to have conversations that sometimes they're short, sometimes they're long, sometimes it's just something funny. Maybe sometimes it's just something that happened during your work day. Those are the type of things that I look for, that I appreciate from women. Women, you can be a lot more vulnerable around women. I give that. That's what I love, the woman that I can be vulnerable around. I love the nurturing woman. You don't got to be my mama. I don't need you to be my mother. But, be in my cheering section. Even sometimes if I'm saying some BS, ride with it for a second, then double back. Be like, you know what? I didn't want to bring this up then because I want you to get out your system. Because I think, let me help women out. One of the things that women need to start doing, if your man or your boyfriend or anybody, whoever, your husband or whatever, is going through something, he might say some outlandish shit. Now, I'm not going to say every time he says it, he doesn't mean it. A lot of times he doesn't mean it. But for me, because I've done it, sometimes it's me just getting it out of my system, just saying it. So, for example, when somebody might say something like, shit, I might as well just kill somebody. The average dude ain't really thinking about killing somebody.
Right.
It's just verbally getting it out of his system. Because a lot of times, you can talk things out. It's not about talking it into existence. You're talking it just to get it out of your system, because that's basically you yelling in the face of frustration. I'm still doubling it back to what I'm saying about men not liking women. Yes, do I believe there's dudes out here that can't see past sex and the physical of women? Yes, quite naturally. So, women, you got to ask yourself this. What made you want to deal with him knowing this is all he's seen of you? Because he hasn't shown you anything else. Right. So he hasn't shown you anything else.
Right. So before that, I think that men absolutely like women. I think men like sex. Let's just put that on the table. Men like sex a lot. And we think about sex often, and women are sexy. But outside of that what some women don't understand is men thrive on the feminine nature of a woman. So men thrive on, and I'm not even talking about a girlfriend. I'm talking about a platonic friend. I'm talking about a mother, or auntie. Just women in general have feminine energy that men need. It's nurturing. They have a different point of view of things. They don't think like a man. And sometimes you need to talk to somebody that doesn't think like a man, because we get in our own way. We have to bounce ideas off of each other. You said something that was very important. Men are able to be vulnerable around women easier. You know what I mean? Especially a woman that we're not dealing with.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So it's much easier sometimes in some topics to talk to a woman friend than a man friend, because men are we think a lot. We very masculine with our thoughts, very rational with our thoughts.
I don't want to cut you off. Our machismo is always on display. So
Right.
we're not, so subconsciously we're not allowed to give that part off to a man. But
even
I
more
want you
than
to
our
continue.
machismo, we when you speak to a man, he's rationalizing, he's trying to problem solve. When you speak to a woman, she's feeling what you're going through. You see what I'm saying? She's empathizing. You see what I'm saying? You speak to your guy friends, we give solutions. Yo, why don't you do this? Or why don't you do that? You speak to your woman friends, and she like, wow, that's horrible. Come here. You need something? What do you need? You see what I'm saying? We fixers. Sometimes you just need some nurturing. You see what I'm saying? I would venture to say men like women more when they're going to their aunts and uncles and stuff like that for certain things. I just think that men really, really like women, and especially real men just like women and love women. Now, if you sexy, you sexy. Men love sex. I understand that. So when I'm not going through something, and if I'm a single man, you're a single woman, I might be thinking that. And if we platonic, I might not try you. But hey, man, you cut a certain angle, and I might see that. And men are sexual being. Women are more sexual than men. Men just like sex a lot. You see what I'm saying? And it's on our brain more than women. And I can understand that can be frustrating sometimes for a woman.
But it can be my thing is this. It can be frustrating for women. I get it. But the whole thing is this. A lot of times, I'm going to take it back to something I said earlier in this conversation. How did it get to this point, though? That, like, it doesn't take forever for you to find out that this man is not interested in you no more than what you physically can bring to the table. Right. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, how did he even get that far into the relationship past that? Because my thing, and that's not a question, that's rhetorical, because my thing is this. You got to I'm not going to say you have to make dudes jump through hoops, but if he's never shown you that side,
right,
how are you demanding it all of a sudden?
So another thing that would make a woman think that men don't like women, especially black men don't like black women, is because men can be very critical of black women. You see what I'm saying? Especially with social media now, and everybody is bashing women. Like, why would you do this? Why would you do that? It's because we are not by nature nurturers. So we are problem solvers. So when you come to us with a problem, we're going to give you a solution. We're going to say, hey, that's dumb. Don't do that. Hey, don't wear that. Hey, you shouldn't move this way. Hey, you shouldn't do that. And then they get defensive because it's a critique. You see what I'm saying? And I understand that can come across as, well, you just don't like nothing I'm doing. Hey, you might be doing a lot of dumb shit. I'm sorry. You see what I'm saying? And men are rational problem solvers. Stop doing the dumb shit. But we don't think alike. You see what I'm saying? Whereas women are more nurturing, and they can understand, hey, I understand why she's doing that. I understand the feeling behind that. And men, because we're rational, yeah, there are feelings behind that. But if you want to stop running into the brick walls, put your foot on the brake. You see what I'm saying? So it's just a difference in the way that we think. You see what I'm saying? And in the way that we communicate.
One of my shows, Everybody Hates Chris. One of my favorite lines in there, when he said, when a woman has a problem, the last thing she wants from a man is a solution.
It's a fact.
You see what I'm saying? And it's like, I thought it was funny then, and it still holds true now. Because, like you said, men, we think in black and white. Women are the gray. Right. And it's okay, because I believe that is part of the balance that makes us who we are with each other. This is one of the things, too. Now, I can tell you what men don't like when it comes to women, when it comes to that. A woman can do something 4, 5, 6 times, and a guy doesn't like it. A guy's not going to say nothing about it. because we're not nitpicking.
Right.
It's only when that thing becomes unbearable to us, then we say something.
100%.
That's the difference. And then the woman will be like, because a woman will take it as, well, you didn't say anything before. And the guy's response, hell, my response is, because it's not the worst thing in the world.
Right.
But I'm trying to figure out, why do you keep doing it? So it's a tug of war, because maybe I should have said something the first time you did it, because then maybe you don't do it the next 5 or 6 times. But then I'm allowing you, but the difference is I'm allowing you to go through the process as a woman, as you should be able to make your own decisions and stuff. So I don't say anything, because part of our thinking is, at some point she's got to check herself and know that this is not the thing to do.
What I've come to learn in my marriage and being married for all these years is not to solve the problem unless she asks me to solve the problem. So if she's complaining, she's just gonna complain. My job is to listen, to nod my head and say, yeah, that's messed up. That's crazy. That's wild.
Fellas, you want to get yourself out of any argument that you might have with your woman, wife, girlfriend, whatever. I'm going to give you the 5 keys. You simply say, that's crazy. That's what. That's what. Or 3 word, get out of here. Nah. You say those things, you are actively listening, and you are still giving her the power to make any decision she wants to make. And she's already feeling that you've heard her out and you didn't overspeak her. You do those things, whatever situation you're in, it will continue to flow like water. I'm telling you.
It's a fact. That's a fact. I've been an asshole many times because I said, hey, why don't you just do this? Hey, no.
Backfired.
No.
Yes.
You can't just, why don't you just do this? No. Forget that. Oh, man.
I had a question I want to ask. Because I saw it. I didn't see it online. I was just, just thinking, because I spoke to a couple other friends. Guys going through some stuff. And can a household really thrive, or relationship, can it really thrive with the woman being the breadwinner?
The short answer is yes. But it's hard. It's harder. Because I feel like it goes against the natural order of things. It just does. And it takes a lot of understanding on both sides, especially a woman, because it's not natural for the woman to be the breadwinner. And generally, traditionally, when the breadwinner gets to kind of lead in make decisions and things like that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. For example, before my time, men used to go to work and come home. That's it. That was requirement of a man, is to make money and to come home. That was the requirement. They weren't required to clean. They weren't required to rear children. None of that. It's many men, like especially over 60, 70 years old, the requirement was, hey, I took care of things. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Things have evolved, and it's more required of a man in the household these days. You know what I mean? But the natural order is a man kind of being the breadwinner and the provider, the woman taking care of the household, and the man making sure everything is financially, and is making sure everything is taken care of, and everybody is protected. So when you get out of that order, it's hard because you have certain resentments from a woman. You know what I mean? I've seen it many a times where everything is fine in the beginning. Oh, it doesn't matter how much he makes. I love him. He's a good man. He makes me feel this way and that way and everything. But don't let it get tight. Don't let the money get tight. Or don't let you really want something that he can't provide. Then there's going to be some resentment there. See, now when a man is leading, when a man is the breadwinner and things get tight, a man's natural reaction is just to tighten up. A woman's natural reaction is to be like, he should be doing more. You see what I'm saying? Because that's the order of things. Like I said, yes, it can work, but it takes a lot of communication, and it's going to be extremely hard.
I don't think it'll thrive at all. I'm sorry, like I can't. It won't. It won't. And it's basically, and this is not to go against what you're saying, because I believe a lot of what you said. But the reality of it is this: women aren't built in the sense of leading relationships and marriages and things like that. That's not even in their nature. A woman does great on her own. See, because when you say that saying, women like to say a lot, and they use this saying a lot, I can do bad all by myself. But you don't do bad by yourself. That's the difference. Women don't do bad by themselves. Yeah. They do actually excellent by themselves.
Okay.
It only looks bad once a relationship and you have to lead that. Because the thing is this: with leading comes the responsibility. And when things are great, everybody shares in the championship.
Yeah.
But when things aren't going great, it goes to whoever's that top person. And traditionally, it should be the man. But when women are the ones that are financially making it, because it becomes a tug of war in the sense of, like you said, that generation, the 70 and older generation, you might not know who was the breadwinner in the house. You knew that grandpa led the house though.
Yeah.
And I've noticed for a fact, because I got family members, probably so as you, that the woman was the breadwinner, but you would have never known that until you became an adult. And you start understanding what money was and everything. Why? Because she didn't do anything to make it appear that she was the head of the house. You see what I'm saying? Like that. And it's not about a fake. It's about, no, I need him to be the leader of this household. And she empowered the man. I'm going to take the gloves off for a second. It's not about black women in terms of that. But it's too much emasculating of men going on around here. And it's like, sometimes I look at women like, what are y'all trying to get out of this? Like, what, like, honestly, and we're going to have some women here in the next couple of weeks and stuff, because I'm looking like, what do you get out of emasculating a man? Like, you don't get anything from that. Nothing positive can come from that. We said it on this show before. Fear does not inspire. It doesn't. That's true. It doesn't. Emasculating somebody, oh, I just want you to get on your grind. You don't do it like that. You don't keep telling them how much you don't need them. You don't keep telling them, what he's not doing, because the thing is this: everything you're telling him, he's already beating himself up every single day himself.
But I think it's not even about him, or it's not even about emasculating him. I think it's a sense of resentment. I'm doing this, you should be doing this. I'm doing this, you should at least match this. You see what I'm saying? It's a sense of resentment. I say it all the time. If most people, if they come in your house and your house is a mess, they're gonna say, "Hey man, what's going on with your wife?" If you lose your house, they're gonna say, "Hey man, so what are you doing?
What are you doing?
What are you doing?"
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, so, but it's innate. It's kind of, we programmed to do this. You see what I'm saying?
Facts.
Like, for example, a man might come in. It's not. I don't even know the word for emasculate. What's the opposite for that for women? That's crazy. See,
because it doesn't exist. It don't exist. Because men don't do that. Now this is fine.
No. What I'm saying is this though: a man will come in and say, "Hey, yo, man, these clothes ain't folded. Hey, what's up, man? I ain't got no food on the table. or so, men do this. Men do these things to women.
Why do men do it? Why do men do it? Why do men do it? I'm going to tell you why they do it. This is, like you said, when we get off, we'll figure out what the word is. But that part of, it's not so much resentment when it comes to men. That's what, it's resentment when a woman is at the lead and she doesn't feel the guy is doing that. But when it comes to a guy, it's entitlement. Because look here, I am paying. That's our trick up our sleeve. I'm paying every single bill. You don't have to worry about one bill. So this is what you have to do. I'm like this, and this sounds like an asshole, but you got asshole dudes out here that actually talk like that. Yo, where's my food? I know dudes, and I would never blow them up. I know dudes that be like, yo, she better have a hot meal on the table every day. I'm not the hot dude every day type of dude, because first off, I like to cook for myself and I like to do things for myself too. Right. And it's not just because I want to do it for myself, but I understand she might have a long day. Now, when there's certain meals that I want, I might be like, yo, can you make this on Wednesday? And it might be a Monday. Give you a little time to prepare yourself to do it. But I know dudes that's on some old, man, you better do this joint every day. So it works both ways.
But it could be a little resentment though, because
I don't think men resent women.
Shit, in that same regard,
go ahead.
If y'all both working, and she's a workaholic, she out here getting it. You know what I mean? And
no, like she's not getting it. She's not getting it.
No. What if she is? What if she out here getting it? She working. See, because it's about a role reversal. Okay. She out here working, she getting it. Y'all do okay, you do okay, but she a go-getter. She do more. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? And you come home, like you said, you making your meal, but you want that meal. And can you make this on Wednesday? She like, sure. Wednesday roll around. She like, nah, I needed to go to the office to do this. It's a resentment there. It's like, yo, but you my wife. I cook all these other times. I asked you to do this one thing, and you talking about work. You see what I'm saying? It's the same thing with women. Listen, I pay all these bills. I make all this money. I ask you to do a little bit more, and you telling me you can't do a little bit more. You see what I'm saying? It's a resentment there. It's a role reversal. It's a resentment, because in us is that nurture thing. We need to be nurtured. You see, we need to be taken care of. And in them is that provide and protect thing. They need to be provided and protected.
So clear up the whole point about us needing to be nurtured. What I mean by that is this. What extent of this nurture do you think that we need? Because if it's not financial, where do we need to be nurtured at? Just clear it up. Because I know some people might be thinking.
Right. So when I say that men need to be nurtured, men need to be taken care of. We need a place where we can be vulnerable and where we don't have to attack the world.
A safe space.
A safe space. So where we can come, put our feet up, be a little pampered. Hey, I got you. Hey, your clothes, I just put them over there. Where we don't have to attack the world. Because men attack the world all day. That's what we do. We attack the world. We go out, we get it, we bring it home, and then we wake up in the morning, go attack the world again. You see what I'm saying? But we need a space from a woman where we don't have to attack the world. We can just sit back and relax. And women provide that. They're nurturers. Hey, come lay your head on my bosom. You see, figuratively and, literally. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Hey, this is, hey, I made the bed just so you can get in. You see what I'm saying? I got your stuff laid out for you for work. You see what I'm saying? This is a nurturing thing. This is easing our load. You see what I'm saying? And naturally in us, we kind of thrive and crave that. A woman that takes care of you, that do that, you like, oh my God, this is great. This is why women be posting meals on Facebook and Instagram, like trying to lure men in. Like, oh, I can take care of you. You know what I mean? Like, that's just, and this is why men post money and cars and things on Instagram and Facebook, because it's, hey, I can take care of you. You see what I'm saying?
So the only way a woman doesn't want a nurturing guy unless his nurture is based in finances, or can it be something outside of that?
So you can bring both to the table. Like, you can nurture a woman, you can take care of a woman, you can pamper a woman. You see what I'm saying? But it's rooted in providing. You see what I'm saying? And you can buy things for a man and splurge on man and pay bills and all that stuff as a woman. But our needs is rooted in that safe space. You see what I'm saying? So you don't just bring all of one thing and none of the other. But where the resentment comes in is if I gotta hold up this end and I don't get what I need. You see what I'm saying? Oh, I'm paying all the bills. The least you could do is go out there and get a part-time job, or the least you can do is listen to me when I say you gotta go get it. You see what I'm saying? And it's like, yo, and the man, the same thing. Yo, I just worked all day. I came home. I gotta make my food. I asked you to cook me something on Wednesday, and you talking about work. That's not important to me. I want that meal. That's the one that I want. You see what I'm saying? That's what I need. That's my safe space. You see what I'm saying? You talking about work. I do that. You see what I'm saying? It's even if I don't do it to the level that you do it, you see, it becomes a resentment there. You know what I mean? That's why I say it's a lot of communication, and it's way harder to do it to have a thriving relationship when the woman is the breadwinner, because it's a role reversal. You see what I'm saying? And somebody's going to start to resent something. You start resenting that she worked too much. She start resenting that you don't. You see what I'm saying? It's a resentment.
The thing about it is, if your relationship is rooted in the finances, because this is a lot of my things too. So what happens when money is not the issue? Because you got a lot of these celebrity couples and people just out here, forget celebrities, just people out here, period, that both parties make a pretty penny.
Yes.
Both parties is making six figures. Mm-hmm. You would think, I got certain friends that I believe, I'm looking like, how do y'all get into arguments? Because certain people I'm looking like, you don't argue, you're not a combative type person. They was right. Like, nah, we get it. You was one of the ones, I'm like, do y'all argue? Do you get into that? Thanks. And I don't need you to answer that one in terms of that. What I'm saying is this. Argue. Yes. But my thing is this. When money's not the issue, mm-hmm. that needs to be, okay, now what do we have as a couple? And I think a lot of times money becomes the topic because money is low hanging fruit in terms of what's the problem. Because a lot of times I'll be like, fine, you can pinpoint having a couple of more dollars to do this and that. So what happens when that's not the issue? So hold up, you're still not like this. I still don't feel safe around you. You still don't feel safe around me. We still don't nurture each other. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like that. It's right. Like, okay, once we remove money from being the problem, we still kind of don't even have any connection whatsoever. Right. But that's a big issue.
What I'll tell you is this. Money and sex are the two major things in a relationship. They both go hand in hand. Money is 80% of the problems if you don't have it, and only 20% of the problems if you do. Same thing as sex. It's 80% of the problems if you don't have it, and only 20% if you do. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So to answer your question, when you have money, when money is not the issue, most of the time you good as long as you're compatible in your character.
That's the whole thing. That's the whole thing. When money's not the issue, it's still a crazy breakdown in communication. Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm trying to get at. Because I'm looking like, this is not everybody's bag. Money is not the issue for everybody. Mm-hmm. We can say the average person, but it's not for everybody. So you're sitting there looking like, y'all got all this going on financially. You can fly here, you can go here, you can do all this stuff. But yet, it's like y'all are sleeping with the enemy. Y'all sleeping on different sides of the bed. Because at the root of it all, I feel the compatibility has to be rooted in more than the finances. It has to be those intangible things that we talk about on this show all the time. And I don't believe a lot of times those tangible things are even put up there. I think most people take the intangible things for granted.
I agree. But what I'll say is this. all of those things can be there in the beginning. But once that resentment sets in, you forget about all of it. Once that resentment sets in, once it's like, yo, once she look at this guy and say, yo, he ain't holding up his end of the bargain, then she forget about all the other stuff, the reasons why they together in the first place. Same thing with a man. Once he look at her and say, hey, she not holding up her end of the bargain, then he forget about all the reasons why, like, that I chose this person in the first place. Because once that resentment sets in, it's just too much. You see what I'm saying? You look at that person differently. You know what I mean? It's where the saying, he ain't shit, comes in. And she ain't shit. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it's not that they ain't, it's that resentment is there. So now that's how I feel. And nothing you can do. I mean, you ain't shit now. You know what I mean?
Yep. With that being said, word of the day is resentment. If you want to avoid resentment, have an open line of communication, have those tough conversations, and just be perfectly honest about the part you play in the situation and the part that your partner might play. But it's not your job to tell the woman as a man what you're doing wrong. You admit to what you can do better and allow her the space to admit what she can do better, and then y'all work together from there. This is Ocean's View. See you next week.
Peace.